Welcome back into our 2026 football preseason interviews. Coach Tyson Fernandez from Ballantyne Ridge High School, an emerging school down in Charlotte. Uh, so we're excited to talk to him today. They got their first wins last year, so it's very exciting. But first, guys, I have to tell you, this year videos are brought to you by Talk It Out NC. Talk It Out NC's mission is to reduce underage drinking by fostering open, honest, and ongoing conversations between adults and young people. Just like winning a big game, preventing underage drinking takes teamwork. Parents and teens can visit talkitoutnc.org for resources to start the conversation about the risks of underage drinking. Coach Fernandez, like I said, last year, big milestones for Ballantyne Ridge. Got those first wins under your belt. What was the biggest part about last year? The biggest lessons from last year, and how have you tried to take that momentum into the offseason here?
I mean, it was, like you said, it was a whole bunch of first. Great feelings to get those under the belt. Two big wins in our history of one first win ever in school history against Garinger, and then first home victory against Rocky River, which were exciting to have. See the guys' hard work paying off. But it definitely catapulted us into momentum into the off season of just understanding like we can get it done. Now we just have to be more consistent going into this next year.
Yeah, right. And obviously, with the Rocky River win happening at the end of the season, it's like literally you're like on a winning streak right now, going into next year. So
Yeah.
it's very, very different from the first year to the second year. What have you seen from the kids in the off season? Can you sense there's a little bit more excitement this year than even before?
Yeah, definitely a lot more excitement. Well, the biggest thing is that their bodies have changed. I've been
Yeah.
looking at some of these guys now going on year three, and I'm looking around. I'm like, oh man, we actually have some football players now. Like, not saying that they weren't football players before, but now they're looking the part. Like,
It
there's
takes
guys
time.
that
Yeah.
have yeah, they've matured. What I'm saying, like Holden Jones is a prime example of it. Has been our Mike linebacker for the past 2 years, and I joke with him all the time, and I tell him, I was like, man, the Holden Jones ate the current Holden Jones. Like he looks like he ate himself. That's how big he's gotten. He's flying around a lot faster. Everything just seems to finally hit that trend where we're seeing the hard work starting to pay off for sure.
Yeah, I think there's opportunity for this team this season to take another step. So obviously, with it being such a young team, you have most of your starters back. So you have 18 total starters back from last year. Not a lot of teams can say that, obviously. Uh,
Yeah.
what do you think is going to be the main strength on both sides of the ball this year?
Consistency. I think that these guys know what to expect. I think the biggest advantage that we have is that the lights aren't going to be too bright on Friday night. I think they have 21 games under their belt, so they'll be used to what it sounds like on a Friday night. So it kind of allows them to kind of play with calmness and some confidence, and allows them just to play fast. They know the offense, they know the defense, they know our special teams, so it allows them just to be a lot more confident and to play a lot faster.
This year, I'm guessing it's the first year where both systems are back, right? Because you had a new offense coordinator last year, but he's
Yep.
back this year, and of course, you've been doing the defense. So for the first time, you had the same system on both sides. Can you really see like a deeper understanding on both sides?
Yeah, no, it's been great. So this past season was the first time we actually had a spring ball. The first year first year of operation, we were at a YMCA park. Then last year, going into this past season, there was still uncertainty of who's the head coach. So I only had a week of spring ball. So being able to have a full-fledged spring ball this past spring, was huge, right? Being able to knock off the rust, being able just to go ahead and show guys, hey, this is what we did in the fall, getting back into it, and it definitely has paid dividends. Like we're way farther along as a program than where we were a year ago, just because we were able to have winter going into spring, spring going into summer, and the guys are playing fast because of it.
Well, I want to get into some of these players that you have coming back. Some of the names that people need to know about. I know on offense we have a receiver that has a D1 offer. I guess start with
Yep.
him and kind of go through all the skill guys.
Yeah, so Zion Caesar, he has an offer from Campbell, who's a 2029 wide receiver for us. Very, very athletic, very, very talented young man. Extremely humble as well. He's just an all around great player for us. Led the state in his receiving receptions as a freshman. He's a great kid. I think we're going to see him just continue to blossom and continue to be a dominant force on the field. Defenses have to double cover him because that's the attention that he's going to have. We have Ryder Polson who's coming back with dynamic athlete that we have, and a name that you probably don't know of just yet, but you will soon. Brian Enna, who's our running back, who's extremely talented. He's sitting at 6 foot, 6'1", about 200, 200 to 210 as a running back growing into his sophomore year. He played JV last year, but he's going to be a guy that's going to take the team with some force on the offensive side of the ball.
Gotcha. Is there a battle at quarterback this year?
There's going to be a little bit of something. So we have Ryan Rizzuti, who's come over as well from Myers Park. Very, very talented young man. He's a three-star quarterback for us. Very, very excited to see his development and growth. It's going to be a good competition going into the summer and going into camp that we're excited to see. Both guys have put their best foot forward and are looking just to make this team the best they can for sure.
Something that always piques my interest, and I know it piques your interest as a former lineman, is when you get four stars back on offensive line. In terms of obviously, like you said, in the weight room, they made a lot of progress, but just knowing how to play next to each other and having that experience next to each other, what are you looking for out of that group?
Just to be the heartbeat, right? We get those guys up front moving and grooving in the right direction. I mean, it drastically changes how we can look next year offensively. It's just being them could be consistent, having flexibility with guys that have played multiple positions. So if one goes down, we're able to rotate and move guys around. Um, that is the heartbeat, right? Like as a former lineman, the trenches are what wins ball games, and I think that with having those guys coming back, it gives us a really good recipe for next year.
We'll flip it over to defense. I know you already mentioned one of your linebackers, but I think you got a couple of them you're pretty excited about, and also on that defensive front.
Yeah, we have Nate Musaki. He's doing a phenomenal job. He was an all-conference offensive lineman last year, but we're really going to see his production skyrocket on the defensive line. We got Holden Jones, like I said earlier, and Leo Natson, both all-conference linebackers. The sophomores are going to be coming back as juniors. Rico Johnson, who wasn't an all-conference, but played all-conference for us defensively. He was a freshman last year at corner. I think he's going to shine and take off this year as a sophomore. But we have Devin Delfino at safety, who is an amazing safety for us. Very, very talented athlete. Runs a 4.5 40, 4.5 4.6 as a safety. Who's a tremendous lacrosse player as well. Having him on the back end helps out a lot. And then we got some spots we got to fill. We lost Caleb Owens as he graduated. Was a big, vital part of our defense for the past 2 years. But excited to see Grayson Johnson step into the role. Kyle Rotman, guys that we've been putting in the mix as rising juniors to see what they can show and do on the defense side of the ball.
I know you mentioned in the preseason questionnaire that your interior defensive line is a point of depth for you. Tell me about some of those guys, those depth pieces.
So we talked about Nate. Julian Montgomery
Yep.
is another one who's a sophomore going into his junior year. Julian is a big, big sucker, man. He's a big dude, weighing at about like 260, 270. He's like 6'1", 6'2". Reminds a lot of myself. And he's going to be a guy that's going to come on the scene and he's going to make some real damage there. We got some Ethan Colville as well who can spell in there. And then realistically, we also have Evan Gertrude, who's the captain of our defense going into his senior year. He's 6'5". 215 pounds. Like he's the catalyst, right? He's going to be the guy that can play some outside linebacker. Possibly might see him some interior stuff on some packages. He's just really, really long, and he's going to be able to wreak some havoc on the D line.
Okay, interesting. How about specialist wise? Do you have something set there? Kicker, punter, long snapper?
Yeah, so specialists we have Lance Shrevesing. He is our long snapper. He's returning for us. We also have Luke Hare, who's coming back for us going into his senior year, and we also have Otto Franco, who's pretty much automatic. We try to call that's what we said when he was kicking PATs for us. Man, he was a first year football player coming from soccer, and did a great job for us this last year as well. So got some guys coming back, some confidence there. And we're excited to see what we can do.
How much of your personal coaching attention goes to special teams every week? Because I know there's some coaches that want to be really involved in that. Some that have good special teams coordinators that handle it. What's kind of the process for you?
So I got a phenomenal special teams coordinator, John Davidiak. He's done a phenomenal job with our guys. That has been the hardest group to coach, especially early on. Because we're trying to find depth. We're trying to get guys an opportunity to get on the field, and he's done a phenomenal job of just trying to mold his expectations for the special teams unit, with his drill work every single day, with his scheme for our guys to put them in the best position to be successful. So he does a phenomenal job. I give that to him, right? I'm not trying to micromanage him. I'm giving him that role and that expectation of like, this is your group, get the most out of it, and he does a phenomenal job doing that.
Tell us about the rest of your staff. I know you got a lot of guys there that's helping you out every day.
Yeah, so John Allen is our offensive coordinator. Did a phenomenal job for us last year. Has continued the pace offensively and the high tempo that we're trying to get to as an offense. We got Samuel Wright and AJ Hurst with our offensive line. We got James Shalaba, who's working with our tight ends. Nolly Miller, who's coming from Statesville with our quarterbacks coach. We got Jeff Sakakini, Avery Redden as our wide receiver coaches. Phenomenal offensive staff, guys that are gelling together very, very well and really pushing the envelope offensively. And Coach John Davidiak is helping our running backs as well, along with being the special teams coordinator. And then on the defense side of the ball, I have Mike Booth, who's coming from California, who's here last year as our defensive line coach, along with me with helping the defensive line. You also have Jeff Sonero, who's coming by way of Maryland, who has a plethora of knowledge, who's helping our outside linebackers. Seth Johnson, who was a CIAA defensive MVP at Fayetteville State, who's our inside linebackers coach. And then we also have Brandon Pickney, who played at Appalachian State with me, who, by way of South Carolina as well. And also Kevin Green, who's coming by helping with our safeties as well. So we got a lot of guys with a lot of experience, a lot of talent. I joke with people who would listen to me is that our staff is really, really wonky. We have, a coach who fought in Vietnam, Mike Booth, and then we have a coach who just got done playing, who's only like 22 years old, right? So we have a plethora of experience, a wide variety of stories, a wide variety of experience, and these guys are make this fun. Like we get along really, really well, and we have a lot of fun as a staff for sure.
That's outstanding. All those different points of views, it can only help your kids because there's different kind of points of views that help different kids, right? So the more you have, it's going to be helpful to your program long term. Um, Schedule wise, kind of a fun schedule. So you're opening up against a brand new school in South Carolina called Lake Wiley. So that'll be kind of a fun matchup at home because two kind of similar positions, right? Both kind of
Yeah.
opening up in recent years. And then you play Marvin Ridge and South Beck on the road, and then you get Garinger again at home. Then you travel up to Winston-Salem, RJ Reynolds, which is an emerging program in 7A.
Yeah, no, I think the first couple of weeks, man, have a really great opportunity for us to take that leap and bound as a year three program. It's a phenomenal opportunity for us to get a really really great showing in front of our crowd week one, get an opportunity to go down to Marvin Ridge and see where we're at as a program, and then turn right around with South Mech, and then like you said, Garinger and RJ Reynolds, just to kind of RJ Reynolds being like that litmus test of like, all right, we're getting into conference play. How are we? All right, what are we as a football program as we get into conference play? So I'm excited for it for sure.
Yeah. You mentioned going into conference play. So it's interesting this year. So the Southwestern 7A, 8A, I think most people probably say, Palisades might be the favorite this year. Providence, they have some guys back, but they just had a coaching change. We don't know who's going to be coaching Providence yet. It seems like there's maybe some room here to make some progress up the standings. So what are you expecting out of the league this year?
I think for us personally, right? I think that it's a great opportunity for us to really take hold of the conference. We have I think we're the only staff in our conference that's returning. Everybody else has some new coaches, new staff whatsoever. So it's going to be new this year for that program. So we have that advantage, right? We put that on that ownership that we as coaches have this opportunity to win out with the coaches, right? We're gonna put our guys in positions to be successful, and we have that ownership of like, hey, it's on us, right? Like the kids are only gonna go. We're good.
I think I lost you for a second there. You got me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Goodness
You can all
gracious.
right.
Hello.
Well, that's all. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Well, that is truly all I had. So it's a good point to end it here. Really excited to see what happens with Ballantyne Ridge this year. These new teams, that they're very fascinating to see how things progress. And like I said, I do think there's an opportunity for this team to make some leeway here in the Southwestern 7A 8A conference. So, Coach Fernandez, appreciate it again. And again, anyone's watching the video this year, they're brought to you by Talk It Out NC. For facts about the effects of alcohol, the conversation starters, join Talk It Out NC to cheer for safe, smart choices. Together, we can make a difference. Cheer along with us to create a safer, brighter future at talkitoutnc.org. Coach Fernandez, again, I appreciate it, and best of luck to you the rest of the offseason here.
Thank you so much, Joe.